Two of the hottest teams in MLS Next Pro face off tonight in Commerce City, Colorado. Colorado Rapids 2, their first home match of the season, taking on the Road Warriors, Minnesota United FC 2. Hello, family. I'm James Hadnot. Thank you so much for joining us for this big-time matchup in the Western Conference early in the season. Colorado started their season with 5 straight matches away from home. This is their home opener. Minnesota on a similar streak. This is their 4th match on the road to start the season, but both of these sides have been exceptional in the winning category. Minnesota, a side that has won 3 straight on the road, and Colorado has won their 3 straight as well, trying to have their longest winning streak in team history if they were to get a W tonight. Here's the side that Eric Boucher sends out in a 4-3-3. Colton Swan, the rising star of the last match day after his late winner versus North Texas SC. And in this 4-3-3, they're going to want to stay compact. They do not want to beat through the middle, is what Coach Boucher said. So watch this team and how they defend and being very connected. And then once they have won the ball back, guys like Kamani Stewart-Baines as well as Ted Ku-DiPietro breaking forward, and for Alex Harris to find them in transition. That is how they want to attack Minnesota, and that is how you can expect for them to go at the Loons. As we take a look at the starting lineup for Minnesota United FC 2, as mentioned, undefeated to start the campaign, and Jeremy Hall sends out a 3-5-2 and 7 first-team players in this lineup. But Coach Hall told me this week, just because we have first-team players in the lineup does not mean that a win is for sure. They have to execute just like the second-team players do. But when you have a guy like DJ Taylor who has worked his way back from injury, he scored in the last match versus SKC2 and then, of course, got on the field for the first team versus Toronto. He's going to be an important piece of the puzzle, the captain on the day. And for Darius Randall, Loic Mansambi, those 2 players up front, Coach Hall wants them to pull out the center backs and then allow for Samuel Joshua, who is going to be playing the number 10 role tonight, to find whether it's Randall or Mansambi or Taylor on the wide side of the field to attack the space in behind Colorado. Well, the matchup is set. Extremely excited. 2 teams on 3-match winning streaks, about to get going at this beautiful park in Commerce City, Colorado. This well-manicured field. All that's left is the opening whistle. Ryan Homick is our head referee. Whistle is in his mouth. Whistle's blown, and we begin from Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Colorado Rapids 2 taking on Minnesota United FC 2 in the Western Conference. James Hadnot here with you. And both sides are going to be very confident in possession. The first 15 minutes is going to be fun because both sides want to get on the front foot. Already a forced turnover. This ball is slipped past, and it's still spitting free. There's Vinovic making his first appearance for the Loons. A nervy moment early on. And already the press forcing some problems for Minnesota. Not but a minute in. Swan trying to connect with Stewart-Baines. It's not there. This ball did find its way on the other side of the touchline, so a throw-in upcoming. Minnesota, 3 wins, no losses, no draws. They went to Austin and got a win 1-0 late. Kisa Kingi with a late header versus the Verde and Black. And then a dominant victory over Dynamo Dos down at SaberCat Stadium, 3-1. And a victory versus SKC2, 4-2 last time out. Ball kept in. Opportunity for the Loons. Padelford. Joshua, low cross, dealt with. And a corner upcoming for Minnesota. Joshua, a potential option if the ball's played short. 3 minutes in, ball swung into the box. Was a tap, not troubling for the goalkeeper Campagnolo. Minnesota will keep possession. Taylor, diagonal ball, headed towards the top of the box. Colorado trying to play in transition, cannot. This is Randall slaloming through. Joshua, one of those 7 first-team players in the lineup. Coach Hall very happy to have him because of his ability to pull the strings. Joshua, Randall, Markanic, and the ball still in. So Stuart Baines will try to clear it. But Minnesota has dominated the possession the first 3.5 minutes of this match. Rizvanovic way off his line, slips it out down the right flank. Now the ball dumped over the top. Masanvi takes a heavy touch, but he was offside. Colorado on a 3-match winning streak, 4 unbeaten after falling to Austin in the opener. And Coach Boucher had a smile on his face and let out a chuckle when asked about the beginning of the season. Said that in the preseason, it was probably one of their best preseasons since he's been the head coach at the second-team level. And followed up by saying it may not have looked like it in their first match, falling by 2 goals to Austin. But since then, they have been playing at a high level. Wins over St. Louis, who's at the top of the Western Conference, Timbers 2, and North Texas. And this start of the year looking very much like 2023 when they ran through the Western Conference and were the regular season champions. Ended up falling to Austin in the Western Conference final. Rapids 2 on the run now, but running out of daylight. It's a foul going on Malik Pinto, the former FC Cincinnati man. Elford surveying, more for him to go right now, so he'll continue to work behind. Little pressure put on. Kolov out wide. Markanic gets a touch first. And as he ends up on the pitch, he's unhappy. But strong play from James Cameron, the Canadian Youth International. 7 caps with the Canadian U20s. And a strong defensive effort there. Randall Nice turn. Joshua. Taylor. Ball returns to Joshua, but he can't keep possession. Alex Harris doing it on his own. And Harris loses possession to Padelford. Just too many bodies to maneuver through. Alex Harris, one of the first team players down with Colorado Rapids 2 for this match, along with Kamani Stewart-Baines, Dauda Amadou, and the like. Amadou, a consistent member of the second side. He's the all-time leader in franchise history in appearances and starts. This is Joshua cutting onto his right. Oh, the ball took a deflection. And Campagnolo had to make a save. The first time we hear from the U.S. Youth International, Zachary Campagnolo. And the first warning shot taken by Minnesota on the road. Marcanic looking for Darius Randall. Colorado sending it the other way, but the ball bounces past the touchline. Two U.S. Youth Internationals in goal on either side. Kane Rizvanovic at the U18 level. A couple of caps last September. And Zachary Campagnolo is no stranger to the youth national team pool. Has played at the U15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 levels. So the last line of defense in between the pipes for both sides, very formidable. Garcia, Matthew Kofi Sananu, the 6th overall pick of the 2025 draft, the highest ever Xavier Musketeer taken in the Super Draft. Now the ball pops to Colton Swan. Swan flying forward, decides to shoot, hits the crossbar. The rising star beaming with confidence from the last match day. Padelford. Taylor. To Duggan. Britton Fisher playing center back today. Had eyes for Marcanic. Anthony Marcanic with the shove, and that's going to be a foul. Now Swan, as Has it taken away. Ball sent back towards Minnesota's goal. No control just yet. And that ball pops up and it'll be a handball. And a free kick upcoming for Colorado. Anderson Rosa, Brazilian, 23 years of age, 23rd overall pick in the 2024 MLS Super Draft out of University of Central Florida, stands behind this. Rosa towards the back post, headed centrally, bouncing in the box, and as it's a little chaotic, Minnesota does just enough. Ball sent back towards the box. Stewart Baines. And that is off Kamani Stewart Baines. Throw in coming. Delford will have to throw this in from a little bit farther back. As we're nearing the quarter of an hour mark. No score between Colorado and Minnesota. Alex Harris with a rocket that hit the crossbar. There was some holding just past the halfway line. So a free kick coming for Minnesota. The shot from Harris really the only dangerous piece of action for Colorado. Minnesota did have an opportunity in the box, and it was foiled by Zachary Campagnolo. Randall, Taylor, you can see Colorado getting numbers behind the ball. They want to make it difficult for you to play through them. Minnesota will try to play around. Playing through means that one of these forward players, whether it's Swan, Stewart Baines, or Ted Ku DiPietro, can step up. Marcanic, Masanvi. Oh, wow! That is incredible! Loic Masanvi with a magnificent goal, and Minnesota takes the lead 1-0. As this ball comes over the top, Anthony Marcanic just puts it back into the box. Masanvi doesn't know who's behind him, but it hits the target. Campagnolo is a little bit in no man's land because there is the defender coming behind Masanvi, but Masanvi puts enough under it to go over the goalkeeper. And yesterday we saw a golazo from Gavin Gall on a bicycle. And I was quoted in saying that it might be an early goal of the year candidate, but you never know what you're going to see in MLS Next Pro. Something special every single night. And that shot staggering. be chasing the game, will have to put a little bit more pressure on Minnesota. That pressure is how they like to play. Swan tries to sneak one through towards Alex Harris, but the Rapids are in possession. And that ball is hit over the top by Padelford for a corner. This part of the match is brought to you by UC Health. With personalized care in locations across Colorado, UC Health is here for you. No matter where your story takes you, UC Health, live extraordinary. An opportunity now in the 18th minute for the Rapids to level the score. It's headed back towards Rosa, and Rosa all the way across the box. This is tracked down by Amadou. And with no touch from Morris Duggan, that will be a goal kick. Minnesota trying to snap the 3-match winning streak of Colorado and make it a 4-match winning streak of their own on the road. Right now, these 3 matches that they've won away from home is a team record. If they could notch a W, it would be 4 on the road to start the season, all in the win column. Still a long way to go, but this is not last year's Loons. Second to last in the Western Conference last year, just in front of the Rapids, who were 14th out of 14 teams in the West. And these two teams have completely turned it around to start 2025. Both are hoping that their successes can continue throughout the season. Darius Randall was offside. This ball's taken away for the moment, but tracked down by Rosa. Controlled. Stuart Baines still with it to Swan. And Padelford went to ground. Another corner upcoming for Colorado. Colorado has had a couple of corners. It's been a little nervy for Minnesota defending this type of set piece. Anderson Rosa has provided excellent service. Another outswinging ball, headed away for the moment, sent back into the box, and Rizvanovic rises up and rips it out of the air. Kane Rizvanovic. Come through multiple MLS academies. FC Cincinnati, Chicago, as well as this Minnesota United FC Academy. Ball lost. That's the first pass out of the Pilfer. Runs past the touchline. Very strong from Darius Randall. DJ Taylor. Back to Jung. Randall. This ball bounces in the box. One back by Minnesota. Stuart Baines trying to set the attack off. Harris was a step short. Joshua, well done to Marcanic. Cut back across, left for Joshua. And Joshua can't get a true shot off as it's scooped up. And DiPietro is offside. We've already seen from Minnesota their ability to get behind that first and second line of defense and then find, whether it's Marcanic, Samuel Joshua in the wide areas. DJ Taylor has also been an important piece early on. What is the adjustment from Colorado? Minnesota also has done well in possession. Give up the ball there. But given right back by the Rapids. This is what Coach Jeremy Hall wanted to see from Minnesota. He wanted to come out and be on the front foot. And while that is a phrase that you hear often from coaching staffs, it looks different for different teams. What we've seen from Minnesota is their ability to play direct and execute the game plan. That showcases a real knack to be ready to go once the opening whistle. Ball played quickly into Jung, Young Jung, who was linked to Celtic at one point in time. And you see no more from Ryan Homick as he making it clear to Dauda Amadou not to impede the restart. Harper and Cameron back there defending as James Cameron sends that out. So a throw-in coming for Minnesota, and it looks like it's going to be a long throw to challenge Colorado in their own box. This is Devin Padelford. Padelford launches the ball towards the box. First header is high. Second one is right at Campagnolo. Charlie Harper on the ball now, 38th overall pick in the 2025 draft out of North Carolina. Now, ball scooped over. This is James Cameron. Cameron sliding and committing the foul. Talked about James Cameron and his international exploits. He came up through Vancouver FC in the Canadian Premiership. 37 appearances. This ball's headed down. Rosa. Nice touch. Harris returns the favor. Colorado almost combining for something special. This part of the match is brought to you by King Soopers, hometown grocer, hometown team. 28th minute of action. 1-0 Minnesota in front of Colorado. Loons in possession right now in the sky blue kits. Colorado in the maroon with sky blue lines. Jung going out the back door. Duggan. Just that little ball over to Fisher. Just gives Minnesota a chance to catch his breath. Wind takes this ball across the touchline. Throw in for Colorado. Right now, Colorado just going station to station down the touchline as they work their way into the final third. Rosa. Now another opportunity for Colorado. Anderson Rosa made his first team debut on March 1st against FC Dallas. Down with the second team. About to send this ball into the box. Another outswinger. Joshua was held up. Darius Randall comes to pick this up. It's a part of the plot. Jung. Joshua trying to keep possession. Minnesota still with it. Jung retreating. Colorado taking up the defensive space. Well done by Minnesota to relieve the pressure. Now what do the Loons have in store? This is Joshua. Nice ball to Taylor. Early ball into the box looking for Masanvi. But Taylor keeps it. Joshua again. But Randall, not enough weight on that ball. Jung will keep. There's a collision. Now Kamani Stewart-Baines can't get to this. We played half an hour. Minnesota dominating possession right now, more than 64% of the ball. And they are up on the scoreboard, 1-0. 5 shots for Minnesota through these first 31 minutes and change. 3 shots for Colorado. The one that Colorado would be much happier about, as if the shot from Alex Harris was under the crossbar. And a yellow card shown for time wasting to Anthony Markanic. Joshua loses possession. Who DiPietro into Rosa. And Rosa, who had numbers arriving, just could not put a ball into a dangerous spot. And that's the transition that Colorado was looking for. That's one pass, and Rosa is tiptoeing near the top of the box. So can they turn Minnesota over more in the middle of the field? Masanvi obviously not backing down from anybody. And Matthew Kofi Sinanu coming chest to chest. Nice ball. Nice touch from Swan. Swan just on the wrong side of that back post. Talked about Colton Swan and the confidence that he has. His mentality and his technical ability showcased right there. Only thing that was left was the finish. But Coach Boucher speaking very highly about Swan and just what last year meant for him, getting time with this second team as a youth player, and how it's turned into this early success. Nice dump over the top. Hit first time by Ku DiPietro, but is scooped up by Kane Rizvanovic. Finishing the point on Swan. Coach says he has all the tools, has the right mentality, but he's growing in other aspects. He caught Coach Boucher's eye at the youth level because of his ability to score. And Coach Boucher said, who doesn't want somebody that puts the ball in the back of the net? That's how he got on the radar of the second team. But since he's been with this side, he's become better with scoring with his head, with his dribbling, and with his ability in and around the box. And the sky is the limit for Swan. Ball's turned over. This shot is saved. Rebound, saved again, and then the ball is cleared away. So Kane Rizvanovic, welcome to the party. Two big saves here in the 35th minute. Kamani Stewart-Baines is still down. Minnesota is in possession, so the referee not obligated to stop possession. And with DJ Taylor coming to a halt, now a chance to stop. And Stewart-Baines on his knees and elbows. As he turns over, just trying to get his bearings. And he is back on his feet. The drop ball, Taylor works back to Fisher, changing the point of attack. Nice header. Back heel for Marcanic was not successful. Padelford, the little shove, and then the boot down the line. Again, have to be careful on those. It's a part of what MLS Next Pro and the referees are not wanting to see, as that doesn't allow for a quick continuation of play. So Minnesota has done well defensively. They've also defended by being in possession. They haven't allowed for Colorado to get on the counter. Now this throw is once again tapped out of play. And like we saw earlier, Colorado working their way into the final third in this fashion. Stuart Baines, nice little touch. Ball returns to James Cameron. And there's a shove and a goal kick. So with that aggressive play in the box, Minnesota has to be careful. This is around where Minnesota gave up their goal last match versus Sporting Kansas City in the first half after such a well-played first part of the match. Now Masanvi is brought down, and that will be a yellow card. So Kofi Sinanu shown a yellow. So Masanvi showcasing his pace to get around Kofi Sinanu. And because he was brought down, that is a yellow card. Finishing the point. Jeremy Hall sharing with me this week that he was not pleased that they gave up that goal near the end of the first half. They got it right back off of a miscue by SKC, but things could have looked different. Now trying to capitalize. Joshua centering ball. Now Jung. Taylor. Joshua. Marcanic. And Stuart Baines sends that out. So Minnesota making a mess of that opportunity. This part of the match is brought to you by Front Range Toyota Stores. Toyota, let's go places. 40th minute. Padelford preparing for another long throw. Looping ball headed back towards Padelford. Now an outswinger. Chested down, shot taken. And the missed scoop by Campagnolo. A nice shot put on goal by Marcanic. Kolov siphons towards Masanvi. Campagnolo goes to ground and will scoop it up. Now James Cameron. And a necessary touch there. Morris Duggan sends that ball out behind for a corner, but if he does not, Alex Harris is free and on his own inside of Minnesota's box. So a late corner for Colorado. 5 minutes plus added time remaining in the first half. Anderson Rosa ready. Ball hit with pace and just over the head of Dauda Amadou. It's a good location, good ball. Amadou just missing, because all that ball needed was a redirect. Randall is fouled by Charlie Harper. Randall wobbling a bit. He will look to trot this off. Marcanic thought he was pushed. That ball rolls out for a goal kick. lot of fun at halftime. We'll have a chat with Jesus Ibarra of Chattanooga FC, currently at the top of the Eastern Conference. Look back at last week's goal of the week. It's going to be a tough poll this week on Twitter between Loic Massanvi's goal and Gavin Gall's goal from North Texas last night. We still have more matches this weekend where more special shots can find the back of the net. Minnesota trying to make it 4 straight wins to start 2025. And Colorado trying to stay unbeaten like they've been in their last 4. Kolov heading inside, swings out towards Randall, and Campagnolo once again will go to ground to grab. Swan, really a chance to transition now. Stewart Baines, Kamani Stewart Baines, no power behind that shot. Counter press means Colorado back on the ball. Joshua into Massanvi. Slipped out towards Darius Randall. Joshua. Randall. Marcanic. Jung. Randall. Joshua is run over, and that's a point to the spot. Minnesota putting pressure on Colorado late, and an opportunity to add to their lead from the penalty spot. You see Randall coming through, and as Joshua picked the ball up, he was just bombarded. So Dauda Amadou was not trying to run over Joshua, but his momentum took him through the body, and that is a penalty. Samuel Joshua.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 2 minutes will be added.
And he scores. Minnesota leads 2-0 thanks to the calm presence of Samuel Joshua. You see the foul. He was run over. Point to the spot. And then watch how calmly this is taken. Looked like it was in slow motion. Campagnolo guessed right, but the placement perfect. And Minnesota does not concede late in the half like they did last match. They add to their lead and are up 2-0 on top of Colorado. Fourth official announcing a minimum of 2 minutes of added time, a little bit more because of the restart here. Colorado trying to get something out of this first half. Ball sent back in, taken by the wind, and Fisher is on this. Late burst opportunity for Colorado. James Cameron is pushed down, and a late set piece for the Rapids. Amadou thought about playing it quickly, but will give Colorado an opportunity to bring numbers forward. Rosa sends this ball in. Randall, the first one forward for Minnesota. Still no whistle, so we continue to play in the first half. Taylor into Jung, and that will be the last action of the first half. Minnesota goes up on a magnificent strike by Loic Massanvi in the 17th minute, and at the stroke of halftime, Samuel Joshua earns a penalty and dispatches it low and to the right, and Minnesota with a comfortable 2-goal lead on top of Colorado. Minnesota Road Warriors looking for 4 straight wins on the road, and they are up by 2 here at the break. Now let's take a look at last week's goal of the week. New York Red Bulls 2 midfielder Ibrahim Kasule is the winner. Following a corner kick, the Ugandan international controlled the ball with his chest before unleashing a rocket past the Chicago Fire 2 goalkeeper, extending his side's lead to 3-1 on the way to a 3-2 victory. Red Bulls 2 sat atop the Northeast Division standings with 10 points following this result. Kasule off the volley and goes top corner. We've got highlights from earlier this week and a player profile and more of halftime in just a moment.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, 'cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake, and I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace, I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Action.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back to halftime. Minnesota leading 2-0 on top of Colorado. It's time for a player feature. Let's get to know Chattanooga forward Jesus Ibarra.
Ibarra from Garcia. Still Ibarra! Oh my goodness me! It's a tremendous finish. Jesus Ibarra with a Travella of conversions.
Fans called it the best goal of the 2024 season. In a poll on MLS NEXT Pro's X account, Jesus Ibarra called it the best goal he scored as a professional. So, what was going through his mind at that time?
I remember warming up like the whole halftime and them saying like, you're coming off in the 45th minute. So I come on, I'm ready, I'm excited. I've been injured for a bit of time now. One of the first balls that I got, it was from Lucho, and I get it on the wing, and it's a quick counter, and I'm driving at the defender, and I like just shimmy to both sides, and I see that inside is the right side, and I didn't want to shoot it with my left, so I shot it with my outside of my foot, and I mean, it went right in the corner, but like definitely blanked out. I heard everyone screaming, everyone running after me, so it was a great feeling.
Ibarra had a brace that day, kicking off a season that would see him finish with 7 goals, tied for second on Chattanooga FC.
We were all just on the same page. That left side, I was with Milo playing most of the season, and I really think we got a good understanding of each other, built some chemistry over the season, and yeah, just getting the ball a lot to my feet and just able to create chances for other people or for myself. And I feel like the dynamic was worked a lot last year.
I mean, his unpredictable, exciting attacking is huge. That's what we want. His ability, we saw that last season when we missed him through injury. The team's attacking form dipped a little bit, so that creativeness that he brings is constant threat to score or assist. That's huge for us.
I just want to stay healthy this year and get more game time, but I definitely want to work on getting more assists.
Him attacking and being just Jesus is what makes us part of who we want to be. So having players like Jesus that add to it and contribute to it is huge.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, 'cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Action. Should be a fun season of MLS NEXT Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, 'cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Highlights and stats are next, but first let's meet new Chattanooga FC manager Chris Nugent.
Chattanooga FC didn't have to look far to fill its head coaching vacancy for the 2025 season, promoting Chris Nugent, who'd been an assistant coach for the last 3 seasons and served as interim head coach in the last 2 games of 2024. As a former academy director, technical director, and performance analyst, Nugent brings a great deal of soccer knowledge to his role, not just on the pitch, but in the world of analytics.
We use evidence every day in life that we maybe don't realize it, with speed limits and like your diet, so why would we not use it to try and be a little bit more successful in other areas as well? So I was fortunate to be around some other coaches that were big into the evidence-based coaching and encourage my kind of curiosity and passion for it. So I think that showed how much I realized I didn't know. That maybe encouraged me to look a little bit deeper to find more information, find more data, find more evidence of how I can be successful in whatever role that I'm in. Sports are never just black and white, so how that helps us get a little bit better at something, as well as taking into the context of, well, what's going on and where are we now and what other scenarios will we face with it. So it's a factor, and I think it's been successful throughout my career to use that and kind of fall back on it and allow that to influence some of the things we want to do here.
A native of England, Nugent became a U.S. citizen at a ceremony in Chattanooga in 2023, a moment that strengthened his connection to the team and the community.
I chose to be an American. I love it. I'm fortunate enough that I got to do it in Chattanooga as the city where I walked in one country, nationality and came out as American. I think that of leaving, coming, finding a new home, that's what Chattanooga's about as well. When you talk to people there, there's a lot of people that have come into the city or their family have come into the city and now it's their home. They live there, they have houses there, so I think that similarities is probably part of it. But Chattanooga has been a home since I got there. I felt connected to it, I think the people, and I mean, why would you not want to be part of a community when you can?
And that mindset applies to his vision for CFC.
I think continuing to grow, representing the city well. I think the city's continuing to grow and attract more eyes to it and more people, and I think that's the same with the club. Us being good stewards of the game and using soccer to grow Chattanooga, grow people, grow everything in it. We are so much more than just that team on the field. We're a club in the community, and you see that when you're out and about. It's not just the game day or that 90 minutes on a weekend when we play. It's referenced through how we are in the community, the after-school programs, the clinics, the youth club, the academy, the foundation. All of that is part of who we are. The Chattahooligans, the overall fan base. There's an identity of Chattanooga FC in the city. We are a club and a community, and I think that definitely helps us, knowing that we've got that fan base, that people care, that people support us on and off the field. That's a huge plus for us.
Action.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Welcome back to Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City, Colorado. Rapids in their home opener are down to Minnesota, a team that has won 3 straight themselves to start the season. Colorado on their own winning streak, and they're looking to make it 4 straight, which would be the most in their team's history. Now let's see how we got to this point with Minnesota in front on the scoreboard. You see, this is Joshua cutting in on his right foot, and the first time that Campagnola was called on, that was a kick save, and that ball was going to take a deflection into the back of the net. And then Alex Harris almost got the scoring started with a bang, as it just hit off the top of the crossbar. A little bit later on in the match, Minnesota got on the board. A little tap from Markanek, and Masanvi with a just amazing effort and goal. A little bit later, Colorado thought that they were going to find something off this rebound. Alex Harris couldn't finish. Colton Swan, no power behind that header. And then just at the stroke of halftime, you see Joshua is brought down, and then he brings the bench to his feet after scoring that second goal of the half. Minnesota in front, 2-0 on top of Colorado. You see our stats for the first half. Possession well out in favor of Minnesota. Colorado has been okay sitting back defensively, and Minnesota has not beaten them through the middle of the pitch. That was the game plan. However, they have gone over the top and around this very compact Colorado defense, and that is what's helped them to their 7 shots, 5 of which have come on target. Colorado has had their fair share of chances as well, despite not having a lot of possession, but they will look to be a little bit more aggressive in this second half, and we'll look to see what the changes might be from Coach Boucher, whether it's going to the bench or just in how they are trying to break down Minnesota. Now let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here in the match week. A lot of fun ones. New England Revolution 2, one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference after struggling last year like Minnesota and like Colorado. They've turned it around early on in the year. The Carolina Derby between Carolina Core and Crown Legacy. And Tacoma Defiance, who again put a hurting on SKC in the midweek. We'll be back at it on Saturday. Then a whole host of matches on Sunday, as Whitecaps will take on Ventura County. LAFC in the town. And again, Columbus Crew 2 taking on Chattanooga. Another Texas Derby in Houston taking on Austin. All upcoming this week in MLS Next Pro. Almost ready for the second half. A host of substitutions that we'll get to. 3 for Colorado and 1 for Minnesota. Our head referee, Ryan Homick, blows his whistle, and we begin the second half between Minnesota and Colorado. Minnesota United in front by 2 goals. Anderson Rosa is down, and he is holding at his head, so a quick check on him to make sure that he is okay.
Substitution. Minnesota United FC2 making their first change. Leaving the game, number 23, Morris Duggan.
Morris Duggan is the first substitution for Minnesota, and Logan Dorsey comes on for Minnesota. You heard the big yell when Dorsey was announced. That's because he is from the area. Coach Eric Boucher coached him as a youth before he played with the academy. And Dorsey talked with Coach Boucher before the match. We take a look here as Logan Dorsey was the man that ran into Anderson Rosa. So Rosa is back up. The substitutions for Colorado. First team players Alex Harris, Kamani Stewart-Baines, and Ted Ku DiPietro all come out. Mamadou Vilo Diop, Josh Copeland, and Noah Straunauer come on. We'll see where each play, as Rosa has to wait to come on with the 4th official. Also interesting, not a like-for-like sub. Morris Duggan was playing in the back line for Minnesota. Dorsey is an attacking player, so fresh legs at the front. Minnesota playing in the 3-5-2. And now Dorsey, an avid goal scorer with 3 on the season, in possession. Dorsey leaves it. Masanvi was the intended target. Now on the counter press, ball won back by Minnesota. Kolov loses possession in the middle of the field. The ball won back by Minnesota. No one wanting possession just yet. Now, this is below Giap. James Cameron trying to play the ball in. Nothing there as Marcanic stands strong. Straunauer comes in to play the 6, and he led the team in assists last year with 8, so a good change from Coach Boucher. There's a foul. It looked like it was some friendly fire as Malik Pinto ended up on the pitch. Mamadou Bilo Giap looked like he was the one that brought down his teammate, but with 2 loons in the area, can see why that foul was given. And now a set piece early on in the second half as Colorado tries to find a way back at home in their home opener. Rosa, oh, that was Amadou. He was the intended target. Hit right into the air and brought in by Rizvanovic, who had a very calm first half. Did not look like his debut. But what would you expect from the U.S. Youth International? A couple of caps with the U18s back in September of last year. And he was no stranger to the academy ranks. Resetting things, Minnesota has played their first 4 matches of the season on the road, including today. They have 3 wins coming into today, no losses. And they will look to get back home later in the weekend. And Colorado playing their first home match of the season after 5 straight away. 4 unbeaten over their last 4. Jung. Taylor. Now the ball into call of open trialist. Made the team after not being drafted. Was honest in saying that he was so happy to just have this opportunity. Now Shashua. Randall. Taylor to Shashua as they work on the edge of the box. Kolov working back to Padelford. Now Padelford just out in front of Masanvi. Finishing the antidote on Kurt Kolov. The same intensity that he brought in his open trial period is the same intensity that he brings every single day in training and when he's on the pitch. He knows that this opportunity is not one given to everyone. He knows what it's taken to get here and just be signed on to this next pro contract, and does not want to let this opportunity pass him by. Darius Randall behind the play. Now Copeland trying to cut it in, looking for Colton Swan. And there's a hold of Logan Dorsey. So Dorsey was the one doing the holding, and Charlie Harper is back up. But the foul on the Colorado native. And Coach Boucher, when he mentioned Logan Dorsey's name on our call this week, had the biggest smile. They still have a relationship. They still talk. And Coach Boucher knows the Dorsey family very well. Griffin Dorsey, of course, who plays for Houston, knows him and just speaks so highly about Logan Dorsey, his work ethic, what he did at the University of Kentucky, and what he's already done in Next Pro. Masonvi digs this out for Minnesota, and Padelford will pummel it forward. Cameron keeps it in. Malik Pinto wants it back. Former FC Cincinnati man. Returns to Rosa. Can Colorado build and break through this Minnesota defense that has a 2-goal advantage? Poor giveaway. Joshua, bad ball looking for Dorsey. Joshua wins it back. He's held up, and that will be a yellow card given to Malik Pinto. Did not want anything more to come of this attack. Joshua, when a yellow card is shown, has to wait for the referee's whistle. Could have played quickly if there was no card given, but because there was a card, there is a necessary stoppage to the match, and the whistle is the only thing that can restart the match from the official. That is why Samuel Joshua could not restart the match quickly. Jung, Lasanvi. Randall. Taylor, but he was offside. I mentioned the substitutions of Josh Copeland and Mamadou Bilo Diop. They're fresh legs, and Diop trying to win the race to the ball, but he commits the foul. So there's fresh legs on either side of Colton Swan are going to be key with the addition of Strelnauer. Strelnauer will play under Swan and can pick out any pass. He, along with Swan, both were two of the players that really were impacted last season by playing with the second team. Despite Colorado not having the best season in regards to points, there was a lot of growth for Strelnauer and company. Right now, Minnesota trying to take advantage. Markanek cuts it back, looking for Joshua. Now call of Randall trying to thread the needle. And Colton Swan ends up on the pitch. That will be a yellow card shown to Britton Fisher. The booking's starting to add up for both sides. Anthony Markanek and Britton Fisher now on yellow cards. And Swan, again, he's contacted with, and that's a foul. This is not a sight that the fans here in Colorado want to see. With Logan Dorsey down. Dorsey just came on. was rare to not see Dorsey in the starting 11. But I had a feeling he was going to find his way on the pitch today with family and friends here to watch. And everyone hoping that he can continue. Logan Dorsey, an excellent goal scorer. He led Kentucky last year in scoring. Coach Hall has talked with Logan a lot, worked with him in training because he's so coachable. And Dorsey is very critical of himself. He asks a lot of questions. And as he gets his rhythm, he's going to score a lot of goals in Next Pro. So he's able to walk off the field under his own power. You can see Boubacar Niang and Kieran Chandler down with the assistant coaches looking at the board, getting instructions before they come onto the pitch. Pinto, nice little spin. Malik Pinto trying to retrieve the ball. Strelnauer. Whips the ball out wide. This is Cameron. James Cameron coming more central. Malik Pinto stabs out towards Rosa. Rosa has his cross snagged by Rizvanovic. This part of the match is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Turnover into Jung. Now Darius Randall will try to break through on his own. Strelnauer, a nice slide to steal possession back. Now Masanvi of Minnesota. Oh Young Jung. This ball rolls out. We played just past an hour. Minnesota in front by 2. No goals scored here in the second half for either side. Both of the Loons' goals coming in the first half. Joshua right into the path of Matthew Kofi Sananu. Minnesota back on the ball. Goals were scored by Loic Masanvi and by Samuel Joshua. Joshua's from the spot after he was bulldozed in the box. Joshua making the run. Marcanic is not fouled. Play on is the decision. Belogia. Padelford trying to get in front of Belogia and does just enough. And Strelnauer commits the foul. So because the trainer came onto the pitch, Logan Dorsey has not been let back onto the field. There he is now. And substitutions coming for Minnesota. So as mentioned, Boubacar Niang and Kieran Chandler both will come on for 2 first-teamers. Anthony Marcanic and Samuel Joshua both put in a good shift. And Coach Hall talked about the importance of being multifaceted with this team. Sometimes it's going to be first-team players coming down, getting some minutes. Other times it's going to be academy players stepping up and adapting to this new space. It's also going to be guys like Darius Randall, who are still young but trying to get a rhythm. Loic Masanvi. And Minnesota has played a very professional match here through the first 63 minutes. But can they play a full 90 is the question. Plenty of time for Colorado to make things interesting at home. And they have the players on the pitch to do it. Harper.
Substitutions made in the 63rd minute.
Now going against the wind. Ken Pagnola is going to have to be careful on these clearances, as that ball was just caught in the air, and Minnesota is in possession. These two teams were at the bottom of the Western Conference last year. Colorado was third worst in goals allowed. Minnesota was worst in goals allowed, giving up 73 goals last year. Things have been much different in 2025. That header is out off of Fisher, and it will be a corner for Colorado. Rosa, the outswinger, headed away by Fisher. Only as far as James Cameron. Dumps the ball back in the box, punched away. Now a chance for Minnesota to counter. Masanvi. Now Dorsey. Jung with the 2-goal lead. No need to press for Minnesota. They will attack at their own pace. Dorsey with an opportunity to turn. Can't connect with Niang. Straunauer, nice little touch. Swan cannot connect with Copeland. Minnesota has been everywhere. Great coverage. And they've lost possession. Anytime Colorado has tried to at least pick up the pace, the coverage has been there. So the adage always within the first 15 minutes of a match and throughout a match is who can impose their will on the other, who can force the other team to play their style. And we've seen today that Minnesota has had the pendulum in their favor in regards to style, pace, activity. Randall working against Straunauer. And Randall wins the battle. Dorsey's touch takes him outside the box. And you see he already went down earlier. And he is struggling at the byline. And we'll have to see how much longer he will be in action. Anthony about to come on. Substitution's about to come on. Anthony Garcia will come on for Colorado, replacing Malik Pinto, who's on a yellow card. And Issa Saidi will come on the pitch as well. So Logan Dorsey can't continue, and that's just tough to see. A family here watching in his return to Colorado as a professional. And you just hope that he is okay, as he's been a big piece of Minnesota this season, coming in with 3 goals in 3 matches. This part of the match is brought to you by American Family Insurance. Life's better when you're protected under our roof. '70th minute, Minnesota is in front by 2 goals, both scored in the first half. Trying to continue their winning streak on the road to start the year. These teams have had similar starts to the season. Masanvi around the defender. That'll be a goal kick. Cam Pagnola will restart things quickly. Ball's turned over. Chandler, a nice touch around. He still has it. Numbers arriving in the box. Rosa heads this away. Niang swiveling. So foul goes on Bilo Giap. Play will continue with Minnesota. Mamadou Bilo Giap signed his first professional contract in March, coming out of the DME Academy in Senegal. Call of Taylor. And a foul by Colton Swan, but Britton Fisher was tight roping with possession. Fisher, one of the few signees from last year that are back on the side. At the end of 2024, just 3 players signed to contracts for Minnesota. And now a chance for the Loons to race forward. Excellent defense by Dowda Amadou. Garcia. This has just been the tough part of the match for Colorado, having to connect passes. They have looked better in transition, but Minnesota as a team has not been broken down easily. Garcia, nowhere for him to go. Advantage played. Zhang. Niang. Kolov siphons out towards Darius Randall, isolated against Rosa. Randall wins a corner. And this has been the conversation back and forth all match. Matthew Kofi Sananu and Loic Masanvi not making any friends on the pitch as they've been chest to chest a couple of times. Really boils down to Masanvi not backing down from the bigger Kofi Sananu. Corner is played short by Minnesota. Niang curling ball, nobody there. '75th minute now. Nice touch. Again, DJ Taylor step for step with Anthony Garcia. Kolov dumps it the other way. Society can't keep possession. Up next for Colorado, they will be at home against Sporting Kansas City on the 27th. Rosa. Strelnauer. As the two continue to play pass, the ball will trickle out of play. Next up for Minnesota, they will finally be at home, but they'll take on two of the top teams in the Western Conference. First, the reigning champions, North Texas, come to the National Soccer Complex, and then St. Louis City 2. There's a foul. Again, the aggressive play from Colorado not benefiting them right now. Minnesota trying to complete probably their most complete performance of the first part of the season. Think about where both of these teams are at last year, where they're at right now. Despite the scoreline, Colorado has looked much better. Last year they had a total of 6 wins. They're already halfway to that total through 5 matches. Minnesota similarly had just 8 wins last year, so a win today would put them at 4, and they'd be halfway through their win total from last season through 4 matches. Both coaches talked a lot about the ebbs and flows of a season, as well as the ebbs and flows of seasons. Now, one year things could look one way, another year things could look differently, just depending on personnel and how front offices want to attack the second team space. Kolov picks this up for Minnesota. Swoops over the top towards Randall. Darius Randall. Randall could not put it on target. It was just wide of the mark. That'll be a foul on Dauda Amadou. As Kolov and Amadou share a glance. Already talked about Kurt Kolov, got a chance to talk to him this week. How excited he was for his opportunity. And the reason why he believes the team has done so well up to this point is he talked about how early the team came in for preseason, just the camaraderie that they have. More substitutions. Substitution for Colorado. So James Cameron will come off. Steve Flores will come on. For like substitution. So Flores, who started in the Rapids Academy at the U12 level, won the GA Cup back in 2021. Speaking of the GA Cup, Garcia. As that ball was tapped. Minnesota once again just in the right place at the right time. Down the line to Masanvi. Masanvi after the step over, still with it. And as that ball bounced off the chest of Niang, Colorado is with it. Taylor takes it away. And Chandler controls. Despite not scoring here in the second half, Minnesota has continued their control from the first half, as they're less than 10 minutes away from their fourth straight victory. Coach Hall and the coaching staff will be very pleased with how this match has played out. Again, still time, and just as I say that, a turnover. Colorado with an opportunity to pounce. Copeland, and that's right at the chest of Rizvanovic. Kolov, and that possession is lost, and ball's booted away. Copeland does enough to win a throw-in for Colorado. Match not over yet, and Minnesota can't shut off. This ball dropping. Copeland controlling, trying to keep it. Chandler a little tap forward. Sidey is upended, and that will be a foul on Colorado. You can see even in these last 10 minutes, Colorado trying to open up just a bit, maybe find something. Minnesota is not giving an inch. Ball scoops into the box. Kane Rizvanovic, he'll be happy with his performance. He's looking for a clean sheet in his debut. Fisher. Now Jung under some duress from Strelnauer. Now Darius Randall. Mazanvi takes the touch. Loic Mazanvi into the box. Had the right idea, attempting to cut it back towards Randall. Clearance only as far as DJ Taylor. Rather than press forward, he's back to Padelford. Around to the left side. Minnesota just wasting away this match right now. They've done everything right. They scored the goals. They've controlled the pace. Randall. And he earns a corner. All the little things you need to do, especially with the lead. Allowing time to trickle off the clock. They have checked almost all the boxes. The last one would be taking all 3 points. And there is a bit of a discrepancy inside the box. Ryan Homick gets that taken care of. '87th minute, ball comes in, and there was just some holding on the edge of the 6. And Pagnolo trying to play quickly, but the whistle will stop the restart. Will have some questions in regards to chance creation and just keeping possession. They had the 9 shots in the first half, but just 3 on target. Call love. Mazanvi was offside. Fouls on Colorado, and Minnesota will have possession. These two teams will meet again in the penultimate match of the season, as well as in 2 months on the 28th in June. That will be a foul. Wakar Niang will receive a yellow card. And a late set piece for Colorado in the 89th minute. This part of the match is brought to you by UC Health. With personalized care in locations across Colorado, UC Health is here for you. No matter where your story takes you, UC Health, live extraordinary.
Minnesota United FC2, number 37, Babacar Yang in the 89th minute.
One bright spot for the evening has been Anderson Rosa's service. He can put it on a platter here. Can give Colorado a chance to get on the board. Fisher was first to it. Chandler heads it away. Masanvi is deemed guilty. So another free kick coming for Colorado. This one they'll want to take a little quicker, because we are in the 90th minute now. Ball nudged on. Flores turning. Ball's kept in. Bilogiop still with it on the byline. And he ends up on the pitch inside the 6. He's down. The fourth official announcing a minimum of 5 minutes of added time. Swan. Bad touch. Real chance for Colorado. And Rizvanovic rises to the occasion. Kane Rizvanovic trying to keep the clean sheet. And this swipe and save helping his cause. Strelnauer was ready to strike. Now Rosa, outswinging ball, bouncing into Flores, sends it back into the box, a collision, and that's a foul. And Kane Rizvanovic holding his own for the Loons. Those are the opportunities that Colorado is going to look back on in this match. There's a foul on Colorado for Minnesota. Only one shot here in this second half, but they've continued their domination in possession. It was 63% at the first half whistle. Now it's down to 59, but that just shows you how much of the ball Minnesota has had and how much of the ball Colorado has not had. Colorado with just 2 shots here in this second half, one of which you just saw from Noah Strelnauer. It's shown you how Minnesota has defended this lead. Rizvanovic sends it away. We played 3 of our minimum of 5 minutes. And Saidi offside. Minnesota is going to continue their best win streak away from home in their franchise's history. Colorado is going to come up just short of breaking their franchise's record for most wins in a row. This ball just trickles out as Darius Randall tried to keep it in on the touchline. But I have a feeling that with these two teams playing later on in the year twice, that the later matches will have higher implications with how both have started to the season. Minnesota is looking like they're going to take this first chapter of these duels in 2025. Colorado will no doubt have something to say as the season goes on. Talk about early previews for the playoffs. Of course, still a lot of time remaining in the campaign. The teams like Ventura County, St. Louis, even North Texas, the reigning champions, going to be in the mix, but these two shaping up like they will be. There's a foul. And Colorado will have a free kick. Don't know if they will get it off before the final whistle. Taken by Flores. Campagnolo will come forward. We played our minimum of 5. One last opportunity for Colorado before all things are said and done. Copeland. Flores. Rosa. Garcia. Long shot. Just wide of the mark. And Minnesota comes on the road and makes it 4 wins in 4 matches away from home. And the Loons take all 3 points from the Rapids. Final score, Colorado 0, Minnesota 2. Now it's time to take a look at tonight's man of the match with a magnificent goal. Loic Massanvi. Just sit back and watch this. Off the chest and the volley. Massanvi sneaks one over the top of Zachary Campagnolo. And Massanvi is your man of the match for Minnesota. Once again, the final score, Colorado 0, Minnesota 2. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. With my entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, my name is James Hadnot saying see you later from Commerce City, Colorado. Have a blessed evening.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.